the middle of the day. I mean, it's the middle of the day, but I always forget to come back on here at night. So I was like, let me just go during the day. Yes, I'm on live. I'm live on TikTok, YouTube, as well as Instagram, so and Facebook. So damn, we got everybody at the party today. So yeah, y'all could just y'all know how we do. We ain't gotta go through this every time. Hi y'all. What y'all doing? Are y'all at work? Y'all at what time is it? Oh, it's 2 o'clock. Are y'all at work? I'm at work. If I'm at work, y'all gotta be at work. Yes, you at work. Okay. So yeah, I was just coming on here to talk to y'all because every time I say I'm gonna go live in the evening, it's like it just don't happen. So I'm like, let me just start going back in the middle of the day. Yeah, y'all at work. You got approved for Navy Federal $7,000. Congratulations, congratulations. What has been some recent credit wins for you guys? Like in the last, let's say, like 30 days, what has been something that you guys have accomplished in terms of your credit? Have you got approved for a credit card? Have you gotten something removed off your credit report? Have you gotten a credit limit increase? Have you learned something about credit that you didn't know prior? Give me a few credit wins just so I can see kind of like where we're at. What gems do you have for us today? I don't have an agenda today. It was more so just coming to talk to y'all and answer questions. My score jumped 35 points. Oh, that's a big one. Shout out to you. You retired. Congratulations. You retired. Congrats. I had a couple of things deleted. Okay. I got approved for my first $2,000 credit card. Okay. Got approved for a new construction home. Yes. I just raised my credit score 10 points. That's what's up. You got a credit limit increase. Period. Finally got my score over 620. Love it. 2 medical bills removed. Amex triple my limit. Okay. We in there. We doing good. We doing good. What do I think about the Delta American Express card? The Delta Sky Miles. I am a fan of the Delta Sky Miles card. They have about 3. I have one of them, but I'm a fan of it. As if you fly Delta, I feel like it goes without saying, like it's a really great card as long as you, of course, fly Delta a lot. One charge off was removed. That's what's up. 30K credit, and you was approved for a 30K credit card. Okay, y'all killing it. I missed the evening shows. I know. I have to get back on my schedule. It's like I said, for some reason at night, because I'm not used to going live anymore in the evening, it's like my body just be like, girl, go to bed. Go to bed, get off live. So I am going to start coming back live because I do miss and enjoy evening shows as well. I kind of feel like they're more relaxed. Like we're just like vibing. Business card. My favorite business credit cards are like American Express business cards, the American Express Platinum business card, as well as the American Express Blue Business Plus. That's like my favorite credit card right now, business card. I do love the Chase Ink business card as well. The Unlimited. Is it the Unlimited? The Chase Ink Unlimited, I want to say. I don't know. I know it's Chase Ink though. Let me see. My take on pledge loans. I am a fan of pledge loans. I like pledge loans because it's a short-term commitment. It's a short-term installment. So that means that it's typically like a year or 2 years. And it's a way that you are able to save money and build credit at the same time. So in my opinion, it's a win-win. Anytime you're able to save money plus build credit, I'm all for it. So yes, I am team pledge loan. I think that especially if your credit profile is empty or you don't have many trade lines. And for reference, empty credit profile just means that you have less than 4 active trade lines. So if your credit profile is empty, I think that a pledge loan is always a good option to kind of add some substance, some oomph to your credit profile, as well as, like I said, you are saving money at the same time. So it's a win-win in my opinion. Is it better to pay debt in full or settle it? That's a really good question. And honestly, the answer is I'm going to always settle if I can settle. So you don't get any additional credit points or brownie points, sort of say, for taking care of a full balance rather than settling it. Because at the end of the day, a lender is only going to see, that the balance is now 0. So whether you settled that amount or you paid it in full, it really does not make them any difference. I always look to settle because why not? Why not get a discount? Now I would say like the only times that I don't look to settle is if I want a pay to delete, because most of the times, like when you get a pay to delete, a company is not willing to settle at that point. They're like, if we are going to erase this off your credit report, the least you can do is pay the full amount. Now, obviously, you will have some companies who are more willing to work with you and settle as well as give you a pay to delete. It's just rare. You typically have to choose which one. So if I can get a pay to delete over a settlement, I will more so rather a pay to delete any day of the week. What bureau does SECU pull? I'm not sure off the top of my head, to be honest. I'm not sure. Is it still 60 business days? It is, but I just want you to keep in mind that the time is not being regulated. Like the investigation time is not being regulated at this point by the CFPB, nor the BBB, nor the any attorney general. Like it's just not being regulated. So you're gonna stress yourself out counting the exact days nowadays because it's not being regulated. So even if they do go over 60 days, they're not going to be penalized for it. The account is not going to automatically be deleted because of a time frame, because they are still claiming to be behind from the pandemic. So like they're literally still using it as an excuse. And unfortunately, legally, it just is what it is. So you pretty much just have to be patient at this point. I wish I had a better answer, but that's just the truth. What is good and bad debt? Well, that is a really good question, and I really like that question because there is a big difference between debt. Most people view debt in a negative light when, in fact, debt is not negative unless you have too much debt or more than you can afford, right? So if you have debt that you are not able to pay back, then that is where it's considered bad debt. If you have debt that has gone into collections or has been charged off, that is considered bad debt. But not all debt is bad, because anytime you buy a car, anytime you purchase a home, anytime you finance anything, that is considered debt. And you paying those payments back will help you build credit. There's no way to build credit without debt. And a lot of people just need to realize that there's no way to build credit without debt, because the only way that you can build credit is to borrow money and pay it back. And by paying it back, you are building a track record of your ability to repay borrowed funds, right? So again, debt is not bad unless it is derogatory. Derogatory just means that you didn't pay it back. It went to collections. It went to charge. It was charged off. You got late payments, etc. So that is the only time debt is considered bad. A lot of times, especially in our community, in the Black community, we look at debt as a bad thing. No. Debt is not a bad thing. Debt is only a bad thing if you cannot handle it. Now, that's where what's the word? That's where I guess your financial knowledge will come into play, because, for instance, I would much rather take on more debt to build a brand, and then I'll get a great ROI. I'll get a great return on my investment. Let's say I purchase I don't know, a truck, and I start a trucking business. I leverage my credit and use it to purchase a truck. I'm going into debt to purchase that vehicle, purchase a $50,000 vehicle, miles, gas, and all of that, right? However, over the course of time, that investment is going to make me a return. And then I'm going to eventually make more than what I invested in that, while also paying back my debt in the meantime. So again, debt is only bad if you cannot handle it. You just have to know what you can handle, and you also have to hold yourself accountable to pay it back, because that's the thing. Like, anything that you borrow has to be paid back. It does not matter. Anytime you spend on your credit card, you should be spending already knowing that I need to pay this back. It's not, no, I need to drag this out for 3 to 6 months. No. We have to change our relationship with money, with debt, and that'll allow us to be more financially educated, as well as financially successful. We just have to change our relationship with what debt is and what money is. There's not I don't say this with 100% certainty. What I was going to say is there's not a millionaire in this world that does not have debt. Majority of successful people will have debt. They just know how to leverage debt. I just had a repo. Is there something I can do about my credit right now? So the first 2 to 3 years of a repossession is risky because it's volatile. You have to worry about the company suing you, especially depending on what state you're in. You have to worry about the statute of limitations and things of that nature. Typically, a repossession is a high value charge off, which is just basically saying that it's a charge off that you owe a lot of money to. So when you have a high value charge off, you more than likely will end up in court. So you just have to keep that in mind. And it's tough within the first 2 years of a repossession. I'm a Duke fan. Can they combine medical bills from different dates to make them over 500 and need to report? No, they cannot. Yeah, I'll save this live. People have to stop being deadbeat and know how to handle money and learn how to budget money. Yeah, that's very true. But I think it goes deeper than just learning how to budget money, because budgeting money is because I just think that we just have to be realistic. Like for real. At the end, we really just have to be fucking realistic. Like we are not real with ourselves, especially when it comes to credit cards. Like it's like some people view credit cards as not an extension of their own money, and then that's where it comes. Like that's where the problem comes in at. Like literally, I've seen people use their debit card, right? Like use their bank account, spend all of the money from their paycheck, and then use their credit card as an extension of their paycheck. Like, no, it's either one or the other. You can't like a credit card is not there to double your income, it's there to subsidize your income. You should replace your debit card with your credit card while you're also paying back your credit card regularly, especially in the beginning. And then you're able to like get access to higher credit limits and, have a little more freedom to spending and using your credit card. So I just think that we just need to really be realistic, like dead ass. We just really need to start being more realistic with it. Like if you get approved for a $20,000 credit card, your first thought should not be, let me go buy something that's $6,000. If you wasn't gonna buy that $6,000 purchase yesterday, why are you buying it today just because you got approved for a $20,000 credit card? I view my credit cards as my bank account. If I know that I would not swipe my debit card for it, I don't need it. I don't need to put it on my credit card. Now, there are certain instances where obviously you would want to finance something rather than just paying it outright. Like if you're buying like appliances, like, let's say you just moved into your new home and you want to buy appliances, washers and dryers and all of that. That's a big purchase. You're probably going to spend like more than like $10,000 on that stuff, right? That is something where you would consider, okay, let me finance this. Like instead of, emptying out my savings or spending my savings account on this large purchase, let me leverage my credit and purchase this and pay it off in installments. But things like going shopping, like, no, I never finance a shopping trip. If I cannot afford something that I want, like whatever it is, if it is not a necessity, I am not going to finance that on my credit card. I'm not going to Louis Vuitton to finance anything. I won't step into Louis Vuitton if I can't just buy it outright. Ever. And I think that's where it comes, like your girls trips, your finance trip, that's not credit card worthy, in my opinion. You can use your credit card, but I mean, like, you need to pay that stuff back. You need to pay it back within 30 days at that. More importantly, should I continue with factual disputes? The account is past the statute of limitations. How much more? How? It depends, because it may be about to fall off. Like, is it approaching the 7-year mark? When will they start deleting medical bills? So they're basically saying top of next year. Discover is asking, I just lost your comment. Sorry. Yes, I did major in that, but that's not where I learned it. I took courses in independent courses outside of my college courses. Honestly, I don't use my degree. I don't use it, but I have it. I just don't use it. It literally does not help my career in any way. It's only been 60 days since the statute of limitations. Also, you're still well within probably the reporting time, especially depending on the state that you're in. I would still challenge it, but it just depends. No, I never recommend that you just close your old credit cards. So I have a rule, because there are going to be certain situations where it's more like, I can understand why people will want to close their credit card, especially if it's like a really high annual fee, a high interest rate, and it's not graduating. Like the card is not really benefiting you. It's still secured, or whatever the case may be. I can understand that. I just want you to keep in mind that anytime you close any account, you are going to lose credit age. So if credit age is something that you struggle with, if you look at your credit age, your average credit age, and it's under 5 years, you might want to lay low on closing any accounts, because anytime your average credit age is under 5 years, you are always going to be seen as a beginner credit wise, myself included. It doesn't matter if you have an 800 credit score, you are still not going to have the same borrowing power as someone with, let's say, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus years of average credit age, even if their score is lower than yours. Our credit scores are just a figurative number that will basically show us as a consumer where we stand overall. But when it comes to lenders, they look at so much more than our credit score. They value certain individual aspects to our credit profile well above our actual credit score, because our credit score doesn't tell them anything. Truthfully, there are so many ways that people can rig the system and get a higher credit score, but their credit profile does not match it. Therefore, they are still getting denied, or they still are only getting approved for certain credit limits and things of that nature. So just keep that in mind. Honestly, don't be stuck on your score. Don't be stuck on your score. Don't be so just number obsessed, credit score obsessed, and not actually take the time out to build your credit profile in a way that it can stand on its own regardless of what your score is. Like if your credit score was taken away tomorrow, would your credit profile still display you or paint you in a positive light financially? Would it still show that you can be trusted to borrow large lump sums of money and pay it back on time? Ask yourself that. If you didn't know, if you looked at your credit report right now, as a matter of fact, get your real credit report. Everybody on this live, literally go to annualcreditreport.com and print out a copy or download a copy of your real credit reports, all 3 of them, right? When you look at your credit report, the first thing that you're going to notice is there is no credit score on your actual credit report. A lot of people are surprised when they realize that our official credit reports, like our official ones, you will never see a credit score on our credit reports. You know why? Because a credit score only matters to us as consumers. What matters is your profile. Your credit profile is the contents that make up your credit score. It's everything on your credit profile, a full picture, all of the names and addresses that you reported. It's going to be all of the accounts that you've had, how many active trade lines you have, how many closed accounts you have, how many collections you have, how many charge-offs you have. Do you have any public records? How long have you been? How much experience do you have with dealing with a credit card? What are the credit limits that you are used to dealing with? There are so many factors that come into play when it comes to our credit scores that lenders don't care about our credit scores. They literally do not. So don't be so obsessed with a credit score. The website is annualcreditreport.com. Annual is free. Everybody can get their credit report for free. Annualcreditreport.com. What do you feel about recent? Lord, I'm gonna leave that question alone because listen, that's not my business. I stay in my own lane. I don't do any unethical practices. I don't do it. I don't do it. So I'm a park like that. Will settle for a lower amount medical debt be removed for credit? Yes, it will. So any medical debts that you have settled or paid will automatically be removed top of next year, top of 2023. I know a lot of y'all keep asking me about that. Y'all, I listen. I don't have a comment. Only comment I have is you ain't gonna never have to worry about anything like that with me, because I very much so am scared of the law. So I abide by the law, child. Okay. I ain't got time. Yeah, be responsible with your credit cards and don't let it spiral out of control. Yep. Period. How can I get approved for Amex if I was previously denied? So a previous denial will not have any impact on any other application that you have going forward with American Express, unless you haven't changed what they basically told you that was wrong. I don't know why you were denied, but what I will go out on a whim and say with American Express, they really value payment history and they value experience with other credit cards. American Express is not a company that has ever tried to tailor to a beginner credit profile. They have never been the company to help someone build their credit at all. What I mean by that is they're not going to be, they don't care about being your first credit card. They don't have any student cards. They don't have any college cards for a reason. Other companies will have a student card, will have a starter card, will have a secure card. American Express does not, because that's not their lane. They know that they are a prestigious credit card company. They know that their target audience are individuals who already have a knowledge of how to use credit, how to borrow money and pay it back, right? So with American Express, they really are going to tune into your payment history, number one, and then how you are handling your current credit cards. So all of your current credit cards that you have, and I would definitely suggest that you have at least, I want to say two, but I'll just say one. You have at least one credit card for at least a year before you apply for American Express. On that credit card that you've had, you should never apply for American Express if your utilization is over 10%, because even if you are going to be approved, your limit or spending power is going to be drastically cut lower if your utilization is high at the time of application. That also will affect future credit limit increases and things of that nature. So they value payment history, they value utilization, and they don't play about late payments on other credit cards. Like sometimes I've seen where they were a little lenient on if you had a late payment on a loan, but if you have a late payment on a credit card within like the last 18 months, American Express don't like that. Like they like, nah, at all. Another thing is if you have any cards under, let's say $1,000, your utilization needs to be really low, because American Express, I don't think I've ever seen them approve anyone under 1,000. I don't even think that they don't. I could be wrong. I could be wrong for sure, but I truthfully have never seen anyone get approved for an American Express card with the limit of $1,000. It's not their typical starting point. It's not, you know what I mean? Like that's not them. They typically will start, I think the lowest I've seen is, I want to say like, it's either 5,000 or maybe like 3,000. I don't know. The point is, even if you are approved for anything under 5,000 with American Express, it's probably because your utilization was a little high at the time of application. 84. They started you off at 84. Your limited seat. I've never personally seen them do it 1,000. But I'm sure they do approve people for 1,000. But I'm just saying, like their typical approval amount, they don't like starting off so low. And then honestly, I would say like if you were approved at 1,000, it probably wasn't the time for you to apply for that American Express card, if I'm being real with you. Like you probably should have waited a little bit. And and by the way, if you guys have American Express cards, one thing that I would suggest that you do, if you have one with a limit, because most American Express cards don't have a limit, but if you have an American Express card with a limit, what I would suggest that you do is after 60 to 90 days of you having that card and you obviously being responsible, paying it back, using the card, because American Express don't like when you don't use their cards. If you're not using an American Express card, don't ever ask them for a credit limit increase, because it's not gonna give. But American Express is one of those companies that you want to ask them for a credit limit increase rather than waiting for them to give you a credit limit increase, for sure. Like Chase, you can wait for them to give it to you, but American Express, I would never suggest that you wait for them to give you an increase. I would suggest that you ask for it. And then I would also suggest that you ask for at least 3 times your limit for your first credit limit increase. So if you've never received a credit limit increase from American Express, your first time that you ask for a credit limit increase, you should always ask them to 3x your limit. Always. No matter if you have 5 cards with them and you have never received an increase on this particular card, ask them to 3x your limit. It does not matter what, if your starter limit was $10,000, ask them for $30,000. And obviously you have to make sure that you are doing right by the card, using it and all of that. But they are really good with 3xing your limit for your first credit limit increase. Oh, dang, I just got a credit limit increase from them. Is it too late to ask? You can still ask, because first of all, it's not going to be an increase. However, I have always noticed that for some reason that if you don't catch it the first time, if you already get an increase, right, and then you ask them to 3x your limit, they tend to say no, and they'll probably like 2x it as opposed to 3xing it. But the first increase, asking for a 3x, is always like the most successful. Like so many people have 3x their limits just off asking them. Yep, I 3x 2 of my cards after you told us the last time. She's 100% right. Yeah, American Express is real good with 3x in your limits. Like they're literally known for that. Let me see. Yeah, there is a limit, but I cannot think of it from the top of my head. I know they do have limits on how many cards you can get. I think you can get, and this is, do not take this to the bank, because I think it's like 3, you can get max like maybe 3 charge cards, and I think 4, I don't know. There is a limit of how many credit cards you can get from American Express. I just don't know the exact limits off the top of my head. Why did they deny you? Why did they not deny you? Let me ask you guys a question. When you guys get denied, what do? Do you just chunk it up as an L and just go on about your life? Do you call the company? Do you look at the reasons why they denied you? Like, be honest with me. Like, what do you guys do when you get denied? And I'll tell you guys what I do when I get denied. The best American Express business card, well, for me, it's going to be the Blue Business Plus, but that is going to depend on what you like, what type of expenses you have. I just find that the Blue Business Plus is number one, a really slept on business card. The limits are great. They started me off at $20K. I think the card now has maybe 80. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I remember they started me off at $20K on the Blue Business Plus. My first increase, they 3x my limit, and then the next time I ask for an increase, I think they'll give me maybe like $5,000 and $10,000 now in increments every time I ask, like every 90 days or so. But that's one of my favorite cards. I actually like the Blue Business Plus better than the American Express Platinum card. Controversial, I know. Everyone loves the Platinum card. I like the Platinum card too, but we gotta quit putting 20 on 10 when it comes to the Platinum card. Like, it's a cute card, but it's really only beneficial if you travel. And a lot of people now it's like turned into a status symbol, I've noticed, but a lot of people don't need a Platinum card. I'd be like, damn, why did you get the Platinum card? You should have got this card. That's going to benefit you more, because the Platinum card is not going to give you a lot of points. Like, that's what people don't realize. You're not going to get a lot of points on the Platinum card. You ain't going to do it. Not unless you're buying flights every day. Like, if you're buying flights every day, then yeah, but who's really buying flights every day? Who is really buying flights every day? So really, it's really just like a status symbol at this point. It's cute, you know. It's not my favorite card though. And let's talk about it. And the annual fee is $600. Is it like $5? Who? Somebody correct me. Ain't it $5? It's like $5.95 or some shit, right? Like $600. I want to say. I know the business one is like $600, and I think the personal one is like $500. But the limit, so with $695, oh, sheesh, damn, I really thought, I didn't know they were $700. Sheesh. Whew. That's what I'm saying. If you don't travel, that card ain't beneficial. That's like, bruh, get another car. They have so many other cars that people sleep on. Is there ever a case where after about 6 months in Chapter 13 bankruptcy, it would benefit you to file for it to be dismissed to get out of bankruptcy? See, that's going to be a question for a bankruptcy attorney. That I'm not even going to hold you. I can't even. I'm not sure, because that's not my realm. That's not my realm. I got 2, girl. I got 2 as well. Somebody said I got 2. I got the personal one and the business one. But to be honest, recently I've been considering closing the business one, because I was thinking like, damn, I'm really not benefiting from. What's your name, Narayan? Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like you're benefiting from both? If you gonna keep it real, do you feel like you're benefiting from both? Because me personally, and I travel a lot, and I still don't feel like I'm benefiting from having a business card as well as a personal platinum card. That's what, $1,200 in fees for no reason, when really all of the benefits coincide with one another. That was like when I had the Chase Sapphire Reserve as well as the Amex Platinum, which Chase Sapphire Reserve is pretty much Chase's version of the Amex Platinum card. The benefits are damn near the same. The annual fee is like $500. I was like, why do I have both of these? I had to downgrade that to the preferred. Best decision ever. Oh, you a guy? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I say girl a lot. I'm so sorry. I do. I get 1,000 or better from each one. I mean, but what? Let me see. What am I trying to say? I'm having both. I just don't understand how that benefits you separately when all of the benefits are the same on the two. You know what I mean? Like, even if you close one, you would still have the same benefits. But don't get me wrong. I get well over what I pay in terms of annual fees and flights. 100%. Like, I haven't paid for a flight in years. And I'm talking booking flights for family and everything. I have not paid for a flight in so long. So I love it for that. But yeah, we can't talk about it all day. But good cards for rebuilding credit. That's a really good question. So look, if you don't have a credit card and you like, where the freak do I get started? Like, I can't get approved. What's up? Hold on, I was trying to find something. Hold on. So my favorite beginner cards are, hold on. All right. So I would say my favorite beginner cards are Capital One Platinum. This is no order because I haven't put them in order, but Capital One Platinum, Discover It, Student, Discover It Secured, City Secured, Navy Federal Secured, any secure card from like your local credit union, Capital One Quicksilver, Petal, PETAL 2 card. That is a really good card. And yeah, so those are my favorite like starter cards. How many credit cards should you apply for yearly? There's no like set amount, but I always say like you really shouldn't be opening up more than 2 to 3 credit cards in a year. And just after that point, it just gets excessive. A lot of companies are like, oh man, like she's a little desperate for credit, so and they'll back away from you. These medical collections are not budging. They have until the beginning of next year pretty much to make the changes on the medical collection. So we unfortunately just have to be patient with those. We got to be patient. Some people they've already started taking them off. Have anyone's medical collections just been automatically deleted? Ones that are under 500 or ones that were paid or settled in the past? Should I sign up for Self if I can't get a credit card? Self is a good option for sure because then you'll have a short-term installment and then also you'll have a secure card. So you'll have 2 active trade lines. So that's not a bad idea. I really love Self. I'm only getting approved for 1K credit lines. How do I increase it? That's a good question. So one of the things that people don't realize that they do is sometimes you can box yourself into a certain tier if you try to build credit too fast. And what I mean by that is, let's say you have like 2 credit cards already and the limits are near each other, like maybe like 1,000 and you have a 2,000 one or whatever, right? Companies are going to see your current credit cards and they're only going to approve you for what they feel as though you can handle. And if you only show them that you've been handling 2 credit cards for, let's say, 6 months at $1,000, it's very seldom that they'll approve you for higher than that amount because that is considered like a new debt obligation in their eyes. Anything that's under 18 months for a credit card, it's always considered a new debt obligation. And they're wanting to make sure that you can handle what you already have comfortably before they add like more debt to you, right? So that happens a lot. Like I said, when people try to build credit too fast, like trying to apply for 3 credit cards in the same year can sometimes hinder you more than help you because now you're stuck in this tier of $1,000 limits, $700 limits, $1,500 limits because you didn't give those cards a chance to age before you kept applying. You get what I mean? Sometimes really the only answer is time. As much as like as annoying as that is, sometimes the only answer is truthfully is just time. It's just consistency and time. Yeah, I'm from St. Louis. Remember in the credit world, nothing is considered aged unless it is 18 months, 18 plus months. Anything that you cannot display that you can keep up with for at least 18 months, it is still considered a new, it's just considered new in the credit world. That makes sense. Yeah. So, and also with any new trade line that you open, any new credit card that you open, understand that how our credit scores are made up, you will benefit basically every 3 months. So what I mean by that is a lot of people always say, Shonda, I got this credit card and my credit is not improving or da-da-da-da-da. You have to understand, like I said, credit works on consistency, right? So let's say you have a low utilization this month and then next month that utilization is back high. As much as we like to say that utilization is forgiving, and you can have a high utilization month this month and then a low one next month to get all those points back, that's not exactly true because in the thread of our credit reports, they don't clock anything until it's consistently done. So if you are not consistently holding down your balance for at least 3 months, because it's 3 months increments when it comes to try not to confuse you guys, when it comes to utilization, right? So like if you have high utilization 1 month, you need to make sure that your utilization is low for at least the next 3 months to truthfully get your credit profile back to where it was prior to having an extremely high interest or utilization month. Does that make sense to you guys? I can explain it again because I kind of felt a little off with that explanation, but let me know if that makes sense to you guys. Like consistency is valued more than sporadic low utilization, high utilization. And every 3 months, your credit card will consider to have aged a little more. Every single 3 months, especially if you are in the market of buying a home, your mortgage score specifically only counts things every 3 months. So every 3 months that the older your credit cards are, up to 18 months. So like, let's say you just got approved for a card in January. In March, you're going to see your mortgage score specifically get a few more points because those cards have aged to 3 months. And then once those cards age to 6 months, you're going to see your mortgage scores rise a little more. And that's going to keep happening every 3 months until that card enters 18 months. And then that is when that card is not considered a new trade line anymore. After the card is not considered a new trade line, then it just is what it is. But like within the first 18 months of having a credit card, you are not really going to see an increase in your mortgage score specifically. For like, literally, it's just going to happen in months, like every 3 months. Every 3 months. So if you are in a home buying process and you want to specifically raise your mortgage score, the best thing you really can do, like if you have high utilization, is to work your utilization down. Like, don't go from 70% to 10%. If you want the most points, don't do it that way. You actually missing out on points doing it that way. What I would recommend is that you tier it down. So if you at 70%, get it down to 49%. If you're at 49%, the next month, get it down to 32%. You get what I mean? Like, just tier it down so you can take advantage of getting all of the points that you can, as opposed to just having one lump sum of points. You're going to get more. You're going to gain more points by strategically paying it down according to the thresholds. No, I don't do one-on-one consults. I'm sorry. Yeah, y'all can ask on either. I'm on all of them. Should I wait to try to refinance my car? Wait, should I wait to try to refinance my car with Navy Federal since I got a new CC with them? Why are you waiting? What's the wait? What's the wait? The sooner you can refinance, the better. Is it true 7-year rule about collections falling off, or is it better to pay them? So that is true, but that doesn't just go for collections. That's any derogatory account on your credit report. It has a reporting time of 7 years. What's important to note is that 7 years does not mean that the account was opened 7 years ago. That means that it's 7 years from the date of first delinquency, meaning it's 7 years from when that account went derogatory. So whenever it went into collections first, that is where the date of first delinquency would be clocked. And then it's 7 years from that date. So not until the account is closed does that time start, does the reporting time start. Active trade lines does not have an expiration date. You can have a credit card for 30 years, and if it's still open, it'll still be on your credit report. The reporting time clock does not start until that account has been closed. So whether that's charged off or in collections, it doesn't count. Should I apply for the credit card that Credit Karma? Listen, everything that Credit Karma reports, take it with a grain of salt, because at the core, Credit Karma is just an ad board for credit card companies. It is literally just advertisement. They are paid by those companies to advertise to you to entice you to apply. So even if they say you have a good chance of getting this credit card, it literally means nothing. So just keep that in mind. Like, that doesn't mean that you won't get approved. It doesn't mean that you will get approved. Just understand that that is an advertisement. So even if they say you have a great chance of being approved, means nothing. Most of the times people are still denied. Thoughts on the Apple credit card? I like the Apple credit card. If I had to rate it out of 10, I would put it at like 6, 7. 6, 7. Are those lights voice oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, I can see it. Yeah, the lights in my background is sound activated. Normally, like, it's perfect when I play music because it's cool. But yeah, it's activated, sound activated. Late payments reporting inconsistent between bureaus. Where'd it go? On a closed account, personal loan account, should I dispute that with the bureaus or contact my bank? Late payments reporting inconsistent between bureaus on a closed personal loan account. Should I dispute that with the bureau? It's on closed, so you can dispute it with the bureaus if it's closed. I just went 2 months without paying on my credit cards and they got reported as 2 months past due and my credit dropped like 200 points. What's my next step? So yes, one late payment can literally decrease your credit score 50 to 100 points, just one. And of course, obviously that increases with the more late payments that you have. The only thing you can do is get back current so that you're not racking up more late payments. And once you've built up at least a few months of paying it on time, I would then ask my credit card company for a goodwill adjustment, like if they'll be willing to adjust those late payments on my credit report. But the only way that you're going to be able to do that is to show that you are able to get caught up, be consistent with paying it. I have a store. Hold on. I have a store credit card with 8 late payments and another with 11 late payments. Should I close both and pay it off? If they're active late payments, like every month you're still getting late payments, I absolutely would suggest that you close the card so that you can stop, ruining your credit profile in the process, because every single late payment is definitely going to affect your credit profile, going to affect your payment history and all of that. So if you know you are not going to be able to bring it current by the next time your billing cycle closes, I would absolutely recommend that you close it. In closing that, though, you have to understand that if you don't establish a payment agreement with the company, they're very well likely going to charge off the account as well as sell it to a debt buyer. So if you are going to close it, make sure you close it with a plan to repay the people back, set up a payment arrangement, and try to, of course, pay down whatever you owe them, because you don't want them to charge it off. What you don't want them to charge it off. And if you have that many late payments, it's likely that a charge off is on the horizon. So I would do this ASAP. Any recommendations for things in check systems help getting out? Check system is I don't like saying easy, but check system is typically a pleasure to deal with. I'll say that. Check system, I find that they're very fair. I truthfully, I really find that check systems is very fair. I find that they are very FCRA compliant, which is really all that you can ask for in a company, is that they are not only adhering to the laws, but also abiding by the laws and being able to allow consumers to have full reign on their consumer rights, right? So like, for instance, LexisNexis, sometimes they can be a headache. Like they're still under the FCRA, but sometimes LexisNexis is going to push it. They're going to fight back with you. They're going to do that. Check systems, less likely they're going to do that. Like I feel like they're very fair. So if you haven't challenged them, I absolutely would challenge them if I were you. So is it beneficial to pay on charged off accounts? To avoid getting sued, yes. And if you're trying to buy a house, most realtors will want you to take care of charged off accounts, settle them at the very least, because they are always scared that you're going to get sued. Charge offs are the account type that you are going to see someone being sued for the most. Like you're going to be sued for a charge off way before you're sued for a collection, for the most part. Obviously, sometimes that varies, but an overwhelming majority of charge offs are end up in court, whereas collections, most of them don't. Most of them don't. How long after purchasing a new car can I refinance? If you purchase a car today, you can refinance tomorrow. No, I'm just playing. You typically probably will have to wait until it ends up on your credit report or whatever, but the sooner the better. Like I refinanced, the quickest I've ever refinanced was it was like a month, literally a month after I purchased the vehicle. I had bought the vehicle literally knowing that I would refinance it. Because sometimes I got to be careful with my wording, because sometimes banks will lowball you until they see that another bank has given you a fair rate. So then when you go to them and ask for refinance, they're going to give you a better rate than they would if you were to just went to them outright. Cough, Navy Federal, cough, Capital One. They're really good. They're really good with that. Like in my opinion, Capital One is a really good refinancing tool. I don't like their initial offers though. Like when you go to them initially, I kind of feel like they lowball you and they don't give you the best interest rate. Like it could be a good one, but I always find that like if I go to them for a refinance, they're gonna give me a better rate. Yep, happened in see, I thought I was tripping, and that's not like scientifically backed. That's just like from my personal observation. I just want to make that clear. It's nothing like that. It's just I've noticed that Credit unions and Capital One are more likely to give you a better rate when you go to them with a refinance as opposed to an initial offer, for sure. Should I give the collection agency my current address if they don't have it already to show proof of ownership? What do you mean? Like, the only time they should get your address is if you are challenging the account, and then at that point they will have your address. But I wouldn't, like, if they're listen, if collection agencies are calling you on the phone, and they say you need to verify your name, your address, your social security, I don't do any of that over the phone. I will verify it in black and white if I am challenging something, but I will never do that over the phone, ever. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Refinance means that you just get a lower interest rate. So you are able to finance whatever you bought at a lower price. You don't have to pay as much interest. Let me see. I have 2 secure cards that were charged off. One was 500, one was 300. It was about 3 years ago. What should I do to get them off my report? It was about 300. It was about 3 years ago at 500 and 300. What is the current status? Are they did they send them to a collection agency? Let me see. How do you feel about self credit builder? I like self. I really like self. I like self a lot, actually. Would it be a good idea to sell my current paid off home and pay off all credit cards and move into an apartment for 6 months before purchasing another home? That's a loaded question, because I mean, that's a big deal. I don't know, you know what I mean? I don't really know your financial information. I don't know your situation. So that's a big decision that I would need more information to, you know what I mean, to shed light on. I will say though, shit, rent nowadays, you're rarely able to save money with the price of rent these days. So I'll say that, like, just, I don't, what is your mortgage payment versus what your rent will potentially be? Rent is not as cheap. It's not cheap how it used to be. So we be paying mortgage prices. Honestly, we be paying over mortgage prices for rent nowadays. So it all depends. Rent used to be a bargain. It's not a bargain no more. It's this ridiculous. So ridiculous. What are my thoughts on consolidating credit cards? How can I say this? I'm not the biggest fan of debt consolidation. If I'm a consolidated credit card, is going to be by way of a balance transfer. Me personally, I'm just not the biggest fan of a debt consolidation, because it typically will benefit the company more than it'll benefit the consumer. So yeah, that's why I'm like, shit, I don't know how much money you're gonna save on rent with how these prices are. So that's, I can't tell you that. If you are able to get charge-offs removed from TransUnion and Equifax, should I go straight to factory dispute for Experian? I just sent reinvestigation letters and waiting a response. So Kimberly, thank you for, by the way, for the super chat, but you did the right thing. You are still supposed to follow the same process with your round 2. You did the reinvestigation, and then the next round, if they don't delete it, that's where you can step into factual dispute. So you made the correct decision. Make more YouTube videos. I swear to you, I cannot get consistent on YouTube, but that is my goal. Like, it's literally my goal within the next 3 months to get back consistent on YouTube. I think it's because I do so much better with just getting online, kicking the shit, talking with y'all, and answering questions than like planned videos. For some reason or another, that's just so much harder for me. It's so much harder for me because it's like, it's just not natural. I like talking. I don't know. Maybe it's just the interaction that I like. Because when I'm just sitting talking to a camera, it's so corny. I'll be like, yo, I can't do this. I cannot do this. I just be talking to a camera. I hate it. But I am gonna start back getting consistent. I really am, because I need to. There's no excuse. It's just, it doesn't come natural for me to just talk to a camera more so than like getting on live and talking to y'all. As a matter of fact, if somebody want to come up, y'all can come up. I got like 30 more minutes. Let me put the invite code in the comments on YouTube. I can go live on YouTube though. It's just the planned videos that get me every time. Thank you, All Things Jordan. You said, first time in my 2 years of credit history not paying off my cards by the statement. When will interest start? Interest starts after the due date. If you can zero it out by the due date, then you're good. You good, girl. It's good. Thank you, Marcus. You said, I keep getting belongs to you and send letter back stating no, what's asked for. Should I switch to factual? What are you challenging? What are you challenging? Collection, charge off, and what company? What collection agency? Um, requesting. Oh shit. I don't see nobody. Hold on. Let me see. Talisha. Let me see. Hey, Talisha.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. How you doing today, girl?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. You got a question?
Yes. Okay. So I've talked to you one time before this.
Oh, you did.
So
Okay. So we family. Okay. What's up?
okay. So I have a charge off on a car loan, auto loan,
Okay.
and it's for $6,000 with my bank. And I'm trying to have it. I talked to them and they said they can settle it for 4, but I'm trying to figure out if it's
What bank is
better
it?
for 4,000.
What bank? I mean, what bank is it?
By Star Credit Union.
That's all they can do is 4, and you owe 6, and that's all they can do is 4.
That's what they told me. It's
Got
for
finance on it?
it was for like 6,695, and they said they can settle it for like $1,500 less.
Have you tried to say I only have $3,000?
No, I haven't.
I mean, I always counter. Like if that's their starting point, is never the bottom. So if they saying that the lowest that they can go is 45, I'm gonna always push it and say I literally only have $3,000. That's all I have. Will you be willing to take that?
Okay, and that's what I was trying to see. If I settle it, is it better to settle it if I'm trying to get like a house within the next 2 years, or is it better to pay it in full?
Oh, you can settle it. It doesn't. It won't. Your lender is not going to care if you settled it or paid it in full, as long as it's taken care of. So absolutely settle. You don't have to pay more money. You know what I mean? It's not going to give you extra points if you pay it in full. Absolutely settle for sure. It's
Okay,
already
and then
damage to your credit profile that it's going to do. So at this point, just settle it.
do you recommend, because they were offering me, they were like, I can make monthly payments
Hmm?
to settle the amount, or just if I have it all, just pay it all now.
Let me ask you a question, and you don't have to answer it. Are you can you comfortably pay it all at once?
No,
Then no, I wouldn't do it. I mean,
just do
honestly, even
the
if you could comfortably pay it all at once, I'm like, no, that money can be spent better, like on a credit card or something. I would pay it in payments.
okay. So then that's the plan for that one. And then my only credit card that I have right now is a City card. It's secured, that I've had since November of last year,
Have you tried to
and
apply for any others?
I have not. So that's why I was gonna ask you, like, what do you recommend as my next card?
You said you got the city secured.
Yes.
You've been doing good with it.
No, never known late payments or anything, and I've had it since November. I've tried, because when I talked to you last time, you said try getting a credit limit increase or getting their card. Their you gave me 2 options for their card that they have already.
I was just gonna recommend because City has some of my favorite credit cards. So I'm like, if you're already in that ecosystem, honestly, I don't see why you wouldn't, continue to explore their other products, because City has some of the best credit cards by far. I really, really, really like the custom cash or the double cash. Those are like literally two of my favorite credit cards in the whole wide world. So I would naturally go there since you already have their City card. And
And then
City,
I tried applying for them, and I was denied for those, so I didn't.
it may have been, hold on, my bad. Somebody had called. It may have been because you just got it in November, and has it even been now? It's been 6 months, but see, for City, I think that they don't consider it age to at least 9 months. So when would 9 months be? I'm horrible at math.
In November,
What's that? The seventh month, I guess.
September, August,
Yeah,
September.
I would wait until that time and make sure that you are not carrying a balance on their secure card for at least 90 days before you apply for another card.
Okay, I have it, because last time you yelled at me because I had it at 30%. I
Oh,
told
okay,
you,
yeah,
and
that's
you yelled
the
at me
reason
to keep it
why.
under 10.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
have been since you told me to keep it under 10.
yeah. So do that for what? What is that? 2 more months at this point, and then try to apply again.
For the double. Okay. And so you don't recommend me doing any other cards, just wait for that for the next 2 months.
I wouldn't recommend that you apply for like a Chase or an Amex until you at least have a regular City card, as opposed to like that secure card. You know what I
Secure.
mean?
Because, yeah, I've been like, they've
Because then
been sending me offers for
going to
like
give you
Capital One and stuff, but
limit.
I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, by the time you go to another bank outside of the one that you currently have, you want to be able to show that you have a universal trade line that will show that you are responsible. You know what I mean? Like, I will wait. I will wait.
Okay. I think that was my only questions for you. Was just those two because I was just talking to my bank yesterday, so I didn't know
Oh yeah,
about the settlement.
I'll wait a little bit and then apply again. All right. Let me see. Who is this? Hey, Tahara. Is it Tahara?
Hello, it's Tahara.
Hi, Tahara. How you doing today?
I'm well. So I had got like a letter from Discover, and it was like a 4506C transcript. But I have the student card, and I was trying to see like, should I sign it or should I not sign it? Like, is it something that I should be questioning?
Why they send you that?
I don't know why they sent it to me, and I was like, okay, like they never really said.
I know normally they send it for, if my memory serves me correctly, for self-reported income. Do they have any issues with asking you about your income?
No. Well, when I first signed on with them, because I've been with them since January. When I first signed on with them, they asked me my income, and I put it in, but I don't remember what I put for the income. So I'm like, I don't know what they're going to check.
That's why they asking your ass, because they don't believe you. So now they telling you that's basically them telling you that they don't believe you.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if should I sign it.
You gonna have to. They're gonna close your card.
I know, but would they come back and be like, "We gonna close it"?
Oh hell yeah, they will. That's why they sent it to. That's the warning. That's the warning shots before the kill shot. Yeah.
Oh Lord. So what should I do? Like, what if they close it? Like, what should I do?
We're not gonna let them close it because you need to contact them and just verify your income with them.
Okay. And then like, what if they be like, oh well, your income don't match? And I could be like, oh well, I'm in the house with my husband, and can I say it's a 2-house?
They do consider household. They do consider spouse's income as household income, and you are able to qualify based on household income. So yeah, you just will be able to justify and show it if they request it. Okay. It's probably because did your taxes line up with what you told them people?
I don't remember. Like, I don't like. All I remember is I applied for the card. I put the amount in, and I don't remember what amount I put in. Like, I just probably put some random number.
Oh, okay. So they basically are just wanting you to justify your income.
Okay,
that's all that is.
You don't think I'm well? You say we're not gonna close they're not gonna get a chance to close it out.
As long as you are now, if you ignore it, adios. They gonna close it. I'm not gonna hold you. They're gonna close it. But I would just be proactive in going towards them. And even if, like, here's the thing, you could have switched jobs from that point. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be so on what you already reported, more so than just proving that you have income at this point. You get what I mean? I wouldn't even try to like argue what I put. No, because you could have changed jobs. You could have whatever. Anything could have happened. Just as long as you're able to justify that you have income.
Okay. All right.
I think that's more so where they're coming from.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. You have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Please contact them, please.
I am.
All right, girl. Hey, Mika.
Hey, Mika, you got it right. Okay. I'm in a little dilemma. I've been trying to like rebuild my credit. I'm 23, so I'm just starting to like take stuff seriously.
Okay.
I got a repo from Exeter back in October.
Last year, 21. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they charged the account off and they closed it. After that, that's when I started like rebuilding. I got my self loan and I got a first progress card and all of that. I was able to get my credit back to like a mid 600. Mm-hmm. I got a notification yesterday and they basically opened my account back up.
Excuse me, say what?
They opened my account back up. Exeter.
After it's repossessed, right? Or what?
Yeah, repossessed, closed, charged off in October. No. So I was sitting at my desk yesterday and I got a notification from Credit Karma. So I'm like, okay, let me go check. Thinking that maybe one of my credit cards, like, and they opened the account back up. So I was like, maybe it was incorrect because it was Credit Karma. I checked my TransUnion and they opened it back up.
Question it. You gotta ask about that. I would write a letter to the credit bureaus. I never authorized it because first of all, if it was charged off, it legally cannot ever be reopened. A charged off account cannot be reopened. They can open up another account with you, but that particular account with the same account number can never ever be back active. So I would challenge it based on that. How is an account that was charged off in whatever month now considered reopened?
Okay, and then my next thing is I only owe like them $2,000, and I was maybe probably gonna settle just so they won't try to sue or anything like that. Should I try to pay them first and then try to dispute it after, and then just say like they opened it and maybe try to get it out that way, or which way should I go with it?
I mean, honestly, it's not even more so the order, because no matter how you slice it, they can't open up a charge off account. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how they try to justify it. What I think that they're probably going to do is, because a charged off account within 180 days of it being charged off, it's supposed to be considered a dead account. If the company was going to add fees and all of that, they should have done that within 180 days of it being charged off. My fear is that they reopened it so that they can add fees that they did not add prior. That is what I think that they're going to do. Obviously, I don't know, because whatever. That's what I think that they're going to do. So I definitely will be screenshot the balance today so that you can make sure that it does not change, because once they change the balance, you can't go back to see what the balance was at first. So screenshot that just to have for your record. And
okay, I did.
Okay.
It was $2,000 even, and they sent it a letter in the mail with everything, and I was just planning on eventually paying them off. But I just want the whole thing like removed. So I'm like, maybe this will help with getting it removed since they, opened it back up.
Good, for sure. It definitely could. That's why I said I wouldn't wait to pay it to challenge it, because they still own regardless. Like,
okay,
I would challenge it. The damage is already done. I would challenge it.
Okay, so do I just send, because I got the 6 steps challenge, so do I just send like step 4?
No, this one is not more so a template. It's more so you specifically saying, hey, this account was charged off in this month of this year. As per whatever date it was open, it is now considered open. That is factually incorrect. A charged off account cannot be reopened at a later date. You know what I mean? Like, say something super simple. Don't drag it out. It should literally be 2 sentences, 2 to 3 sentences.
Okay, because that was the only thing I had left that was like holding me back. I'm like, I got everything else off, and I think they knew I was like cleaning up my credit, and they just hit me with that, and I was so sick because I was like at a 660, and then when I went and looked, it was like a 598, and I was shook. I was here about to cry. I was like, oh my god!
Don't cry. It's gonna come back. It's just now you just have to make sure that you be your own advocate and call them out, because I think that they're really just trying to add the fees. I think they're more so worried about the fees than like your credit report. It's probably some fees that they never added, maybe lawyer fees and stuff, but they were supposed to add it during a certain amount of time and they did not. So that's on them.
Like, it's been 8 months, but okay. Well, okay, that's all I wanted. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, what is it? Kimberlyn?
Kimberlyn, that's right.
Why are you listening to me on live? Get away. My son is. Anyways, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Good. Okay, so I have crazy. I have 2 charge-offs with Upstart, and they both have
right.
Say that again.
That's a loan, right?
Yes.
Making sure. Okay.
So they both have balances in the in the balance due section. Mm-hmm. So they've been charged off since January of this year.
Okay.
So one of them
or closed.
Say that again.
They charged them off, or they closed them.
That's not the same thing?
No, because they can close it without charging it off.
No, it's definitely charged off.
Okay. All right, I'm with you.
So yes, they're closed and charged off.
Okay.
So in pulling my side-by-side credit report,
okay,
I think TransUnion they have different dates of delinquency.
Okay, that's a problem, but okay.
So like I said, they also have balance due. And it was a third thing that I don't remember yet what happened. So trying to figure out, where do I start?
Okay, let me ask you a question. When you say different dates of delinquency, do you know how different? Like, what are they reporting?
So one says 30 days delinquent in March. One says June. So
the payment history doesn't align. It doesn't match.
Not until after it got to 120 days.
Okay.
And then they line up.
Okay. So that's a challenge that you can go for. Of course, we always want to start with just the investigation request round 1. We never, go off the bat and point out what's factually wrong with the account. You always want to give the credit bureaus a chance to conduct a full investigation, which is
Okay.
basically round one bureau reinvestigation letter, right? If that is not successful, which most times it's not, it's literally just there so that you are abiding by the laws as well. If you don't agree and they say, hey, this is verified, etc., you would then ask them to reinvestigate it and also ask them what was their method of verification. That's considered a round 2 letter. If you have the DIY kit, that's the round 2 letter that's in there, right?
Okay, got it.
Now, when you get to round 3 and it's still not deleted, that's where you can kind of start getting more specific on why the account should be deleted, because by that point, you've given them 2 full times to investigate the account. And by law, per law, that's all you have to give them before you're able to technically request a deletion, right? So then you would say, you've investigated this account twice at this point. I've given you well over the amount of time that you are legally required for an investigation, and the account is still inconsistently reporting. TransUnion is reporting this, Equifax is reporting this, etc. I am now requesting that you remove the account in full from my credit report for failure to conduct a proper investigation. So you always want to give the credit bureaus a justifiable reason why they should delete it. And in your case, it would be failure to conduct a proper investigation. Had they conducted a proper investigation, the dates shouldn't have been wrong or still inconsistent.
Okay. Got it. Now, my second thing is I have, so of course, when the world shut down, people lost jobs. I was one of those people. And had been paying consistently, constantly, on time, even paying more. Was it a community, a store card said, okay, we'll work with you. Fine. They did not. I got a job. I started paying extra, like about $200 or $300 extra every month, and they still reported it as late.
So you were late, or?
Well, they said they reported it as late because it was still late, even though I was trying to catch up. The payment that was due was still late.
So you're saying you were behind, and then you were playing catch up, but the catch up wasn't enough to take care of the full outstanding balance.
Right.
Okay. I get that. Okay. Now let me ask you a question. I know Community, did you have the insurance through them? Because I know they do offer like, it's like $2 or $3 a month.
I did not.
Okay. Just making sure.
And the reason I didn't was because I got that card in 2019. Listen, and it has a 5-year.
Because honestly, I've never had insurance on any of my credit cards until the pandemic. I feel like that woke a lot of people up. So I can get why you don't have it. But I was asking because I'm like, maybe that could have been a challenge. But the fact that, first of all, what is the account closed now or what?
No, it's still open.
So are they still reporting late payments?
No, it's current. It's been current for maybe a year.
Okay.
June. It was a year in June.
Okay. Have you tried to ask them for a goodwill adjustment?
Yes, and they sent me something back saying
they can't do anything.
They can't do it, or I even wrote something on, sent them a DM on Facebook.
Yeah, that's my favorite way to contact them.
They sent me something saying, oh, well, you need to go through this place or go through that place online. But it wasn't, because I requested the CEO's email address. And of course, they're not going to give that to you.
Right. Yeah, that's a sucky situation, because if we're speaking technically, that is considered a late if it's an outstanding balance, right? Like that is considered late, and it's sucky. It's one of those things that's like, damn, it really is considered late technically. The thing is, Community Bank has not been the most friendly with goodwill adjustment. I've seen them, do them and grant them before, but not a lot.
Okay.
Your only late payments on your credit report?
Yes.
And you said that was from January, so they're technically, you said January, right?
No. For that was last year. Actually, yeah, from 2021. They
Okay.
started reporting late because I wasn't working,
Mhm.
and they still put late payments. They were putting on time because they had an agreement. They were helping consumers.
Yeah.
So,
What happened with that? Like what?
well, I called them and I said, "Hey, I've started back to working. I
Mhm.
want to start back paying." And the they not only did they put late payments on when I started back paying,
Mhm.
but they lowered my credit limit every time I paid something.
Damn. Yeah, they good for lowering the limit.
Yeah, because I was at like 27,000 initially, and then they have since lowered it to like 18,000.
Mm.
But now since last, I only owe maybe 11,000 now.
How many late payments do you have with them?
3.
Three. Are they consistent, like consecutively?
Yes.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard because even if you challenge it with the credit bureaus, you run the risk of them closing it, and they will close the account. So I would not recommend that you challenge those late payments with the credit bureaus. I would,
Okay.
I would say try to ask them again for a goodwill adjustment, but I would only ask them to fix one late payment.
Okay.
And then I will start from there because I know like if you ask them for more than one, they're more than likely are just going to say no. It's a tricky situation because it's still an active trade line, but it's such a large trade line at that. So them closing that account is going to hurt you more, way
Yeah.
more, you know. So you don't want it to close. Therefore, your options are limited. So you can't go to the credit bureaus. You have to deal with it directly with them. Their CEO email has been changed. It used to be public, but they changed it. And now the best way to contact them, like you said, is through that Facebook Messenger, where you instead of asking for the CEO, I would ask them for a goodwill adjustment directly through
Okay.
the messages and see where it gets you because it's like I said, it's like kind of like stuck between a rock and a hard place. Because the only other thing that you can do is just continue to truck forward and continue to let those late payments age so that it doesn't have as heavy of an impact on your score. How
Okay.
many active accounts do you have?
You said how many active accounts do I have?
Yeah.
I have a mortgage, uh, cars paid off. Let's see. I have student loans.
Hmm.
I have a store card. I have a Wells Fargo Visa.
So you have multiple accounts.
Yes.
Okay. The reason why I asked is because it takes about 11 on-time payments to undo the impact of one late payment, right? So you have 3 is going to take 33. I'm horrible with math. 33 on-time payments to undo that impact. So time is also of the essence. You do have multiple accounts, so you will be able to reach 33 on-time payments faster than
Okay.
someone who's only had like maybe 2 or 3 accounts.
Well, that's
So
the only one that was late.
right, but I meant like payment history is calculated overall, so it'll take
Okay, got it.
yeah. So as time goes on, it will impact your score less if they are not able to remove it. It wouldn't be something that I would like stress about, to be honest. Like, because the only thing you can do is just continue to report on time payments and make sure that you are obviously not getting any more late payments, so that you can
Okay,
lessen the blow of the damage that caused to your credit profile.
got
Maybe
it.
time thing. That's one of the sucky things about it. But like, it's not the end of the world. It did happen during the pandemic. Lenders are very lenient nowadays on late payments that happened in specifically 2020 to 2021 for sure. And
Okay,
if you're ever denied by a credit card, I would always ask for a reconsideration, and I would always justify those late payments every single time. If you apply for something, you get denied, your first course of action should be to justify those late payments. Hey, I understand that my credit report looks a certain way. During the pandemic, I was furloughed, etc. Since then, I've
mhm.
gotten back on track. And I've noticed that they will go ahead and go back and approve you after you are able to justify it. So always basically just be prepared to justify those late payments for the next year or so.
Okay, and how would you go about doing that?
Oh, reconsideration lines, 100%. So what I can, let me see if I can put it up. Let me see if I can share my screen. Oof, can I share with you on it? Let me see. Hold on. Can you see that? Hold on, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So here are just like some popular reconsideration lines that you're able to screenshot. And then hold on. Right. So then you would always call these numbers, and this typically is their back office number that you're able to ask, like, hey, I know I was denied. You always have to do it within 30 days of the application. And you have to say, I know I was denied. I know my credit report looks a certain type of way. This is why I have late payments, right? Here is just like great reasons that you're able to use. You can, you're by justifying, you always want to paint a better financial picture than like you basically want to make sure that they know that you're stable now. So regardless of what's happened in the past, you want to mention things like, I am currently working. I haven't had a late payment since that, or, whatever. You want to justify why you were late and why you will not be late in the future. So that's what I like to do. I literally, as soon as you are denied, you need to call one of these numbers. Depending on the company, obviously, you will call these numbers and ask them that if you're able to get a reconsideration, which is just a manual review of your credit profile. Because when we are denied because the system has seen a red flag on our credit report and they automatically denied it, right? If you ask for a manual review, you are asking for a human to go in to look at your credit report, consider your reasons on why you were late, and make a decision on if they feel as though it was a one-time thing and they don't have to worry about that in the future. Pretty much, it adds that personalization to an automatic process.
Okay, got it.
It's automatic. It's black and white. If you have these certain attributes to your credit profile, automatic denial. But when you're dealing with a human, obviously you have more of a chance on them approving you with mistakes or things on your credit profile.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. You're welcome. And did you have any other questions or anything?
Yes, I do. Is a what do you call timeshare considered a mortgage? And if a timeshare has been turned in for deed in lieu of foreclosure, and they still put foreclosure, what do you do?
So of course, it's not a mortgage, but it's definitely kind of like in the same, I guess, realm, I would say, as a mortgage in the way in which it reports. And you said, I'm sorry, what was your specific question? I lost the last part.
What do you do if they put it as a foreclosure? But when you submit it, when you turn it back in as a deed in lieu, it's a deed in lieu of foreclosure, and then they still put foreclosure.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say, because I know I've seen that a lot actually, where they still put foreclosure. You can write a letter to the credit bureaus and ask them to correct the wording of it for sure.
Okay.
But foreclosure definitely looks worse. So that's what I would more so do, is ask them to correct the wording of it.
Okay.
And you would just write a letter directly to the credit bureaus.
Okay. Because my actual mortgage on my first primary home was a little bit more important than a timeshare.
Right, exactly. And you want to create some separation between the two. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want that to look like you foreclosed on a primary mortgage.
Okay.
Different. So I absolutely would be a sticker on the wording of that, because lenders are absolutely going to see and look at that like just a regular foreclosure.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And you have an amazing day.
I will. You too.
Thank you. Who is next? Hi, Devonna.
Hi.
Hey, girl.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
I have a couple questions. Okay. So I just recently downloaded Credit Karma, and my credit score is not horrible, but it's not great neither. I'm like in the mid 600s.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to rebuild my credit, because I did have a couple charged off credit cards when I was younger. And so I wanted to know what was the best credit card I should start to go off to rebuild the credit.
Do you have any current active credit cards right now?
No, I don't.
You said, what's your score, if you're comfortable with saying it?
It's a 630.
What do you have on your credit report? What's keeping it up?
I have one collection that it says like for $400.
But you gotta have some active accounts, right? You don't got student loans, nothing?
I have a student loan for $5,000, and then my car.
Okay, I was like, okay, you got to have some active accounts with a 600. So you definitely need a revolving trade line. But you already know that.
Yeah.
600 student loans.
My student loan is not high. It's like $5,000.
And it's in what status? Deferment.
Yeah, just the normal status. Yeah, deferment.
How long ago? How old is your collection?
Not long, probably since last year.
Do you have any late payments?
No, not for my student loans or anything. All my payments are current for my student loan and my car note.
Are you a student? Are you an active student or
no?
Okay, I would recommend that you apply for either the. I would feel comfortable with you applying for like the Capital One Quicksilver, the Discover It.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. The Pedal 2 is a good one. See, what I'm trying to do is I don't want with a 600. I wouldn't recommend that you start with a subprime or a secure card. To be quite honest,
Okay.
I'm comfortable with you being able to get approved for a starter card also than a subprime. So like I said, a Quicksilvers, a Discover It, even a Platinum from Capital One.
Okay.
Those are going to be good options. Wait, but you did mention something, and I don't want to gloss over. You said you did have credit cards in the past. So within your closed accounts, you have credit cards?
Yeah, it's 2 of them.
And what are the current status of those? Are they charged off? Are they?
Yeah, they're closed.
So that's definitely something that we have to take into the consideration because companies are going to look at those and what happened to those cards. So now, hold on. Let me think. Because those cards are going to play a part. So now I'm thinking that more so we should probably stick to the Capital One Platinums.
Okay.
Pedal 2 is still a good one that I would comfortably recommend, or even the City Secured.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would recommend. Self lender also. You have 2 installments, so I'm not really stuck on you getting another short term installment right now. But I do like self for their credit card, and to get their credit card, you do have to start with their installment. So that could be an option as well. But you don't have to.
Okay.
What else? That $400 credit collection. What kind of collection is that?
It's from a bill that I didn't even know that they had. I just got it in the mail saying that.
Bill?
Yeah, like an energy bill.
Have you? What are you going? What have you? What you going to do with that basically?
That was my question. Should I just go ahead and pay it off, or should I try to settle with them?
So with utility bills, I always ask for a settlement, and I always ask for a payment delete.
Okay, settlement and payment, please.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
One and the same. Let me, if I can find it real quick. Let me see. If you have another question, you can ask it while I search this real quick.
Okay. Now, that same company, they added $100 onto it, or like $90 onto it, and they sold it to a different credit union. I just got that in the mail, like not too long ago.
Hold on. You losing me with that when they get making changes on the account. Wait. I'm gonna have to give you my attention for that. But let me show you before I forget. So this is an example of a settlement letter that you're able to use and send if you would like. You can screenshot it.
Yes. Okay.
This is a settlement letter. All right, now, what were you saying about some changes?
So the same energy company that they sent another one for $90. So I guess while I had the bills, I was already paying on that account and like making payments and stuff because it was my utility bill. So I didn't know about the 400 until like I got with somebody and they were like, I was like, I'm trying to have like change my credit, get on Credit Karma, and that's when I seen it was $400 sold to a credit union already. So then once I closed out my account with them because I moved and I didn't need them and their services anymore, they were supposed to send me a bill in the mail, but I never got the bill in the mail for the $90. So I received.
You're losing me because where did 400 and where did 90 come from? Is this the same account?
Yeah. Well, yeah, there is from the same company.
And so why did they say you owe 90 more? Like, I think I'm losing like what, how do they commingle? Like, connect the dots for me. Like, how? Okay, so they put 400 on your credit report, but then they sent you another bill saying you owe 90 more than the 400, or the 400 was reduced down to 90. That's wrong.
No, they added the 90, but they sold it to a different debt collector.
Okay, so collection agency A had it, and then by the time they sold it to the next collection agency, there was basically a difference of $90. They say that you owe $90 more than what you did.
Yeah, but it's coming from two different debt collectors. So one debt collector has 400 and one debt collector has 90.
Now that's interesting. And it's for the same company.
Mm-hmm.
Have you contacted the company?
No, I haven't. Not yet.
What I would do is I would contact the company and ask them to send you a final bill so that you are able to compare. And also, I would also request from the company to outline who is the correct owner, who is able to collect on this account, because both collection agency can't collect on the same account. So they have to outline which one has authority to collect on that account, and that I would only request that from the original creditor.
Okay.
Also, while you are requesting that from the original creditor, I would also send both collection agencies, since there's a conflict of who owe who and who owe what, I would send both of them a debt validation letter. Do you have one?
No, I don't.
I got you, because they know what they're trying to do. They're trying to do some. Hold on. Validation, yeah. Here we go. Right here. I'm gonna share the screen. Is this it? You see that?
Yeah. Okay.
So you would send this directly to the collection agency.
Okay.
Then make sure you don't include a copy of your ID. Make sure that you don't include like nothing other than your name, your address, the last 4 of your social. Do not put your full social on there, and make sure you do not sign the letter. You just like type your name. Don't ever like put your actual signature.
Okay.
Signature. Okay. And also, I will send it certified to both agencies.
Oh, okay.
How you turn this? Dang, somebody calling. That means my volume finna go down. Can y'all still hear me on Instagram? My bad. I'm trying to show them real quick because they.
Oh no, you're fine.
Y'all got it. You hit 753. Shout out to you. Okay. Now, what were we saying? Yeah, I will send this ASAP. Just so you can, first of all, identify who is the rightful owner to collect on this account, because it can't be both, and I'm not dealing with both collection. You know what I mean? Like, that's just too much. Who has the right to properly collect on this account and who does not, so that you can, whoever doesn't, you don't even got to pay attention to them.
Okay.
So yeah, I would do that ASAP.
Okay. Now on the $90 letter, it says I have until the 15th to like call or write us by the 15th to dispute all the parts of the debt.
The 15th of July?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to make sure that that's in the mail by the 15th. As long as you stamped in the mail, like it can still be delivering to them after the 15th, but long as it's post dated before the 15th, you're good. But you got literally 3 days. You need to do it ASAP.
Yeah, like today.
Yeah.
Okay. And should I apply to this secure credit card or these credit cards after I handle all this?
I don't necessarily think you have to wait. No, I wouldn't wait. There's no point in waiting. It's a $400 collection. Like, even if they do deny you for that, ask for the reconsideration. Hey, this is just a collection. Wasn't aware of it. The cards that I told you to apply for, you're not expected to have great credit. You're not expected to have perfect credit.
Okay.
I don't even think it will stop you. I would absolutely get on that as soon as possible so that they can start helping you with credit score in the meantime while you are able to fix this issue.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Those are my questions.
All right. Well, you have an amazing day.
Thank you too.
Bye. Hi, Dominique.
Hi.
Pausing.
Oh, pause. Jesus. Hi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Oh, God.
It's hot as hell.
Child. And I live in Houston. This is not okay.
Texas heat.
Okay. Girl. Anyways. Hi.
Hi.
No, I don't forgot what I was gonna say. Hold on.
The heat
Okay,
then discombobulated you.
I know. Okay, so I have two questions. My first
Okay.
question is I have one account that first was reporting as a medical, and I sent the medical collection letter or whatever, and then it was removed.
Okay.
Great, happy.
Mhm.
And then I guess it was removed and it made them mad. So then they sent it to an attorney's office. So then it showed back up. So now it's not showing as a medical anymore. So now I'm like, okay, now what do I do? So then
It's
I
still
send
though.
the validation letter and everything. And then all Experian did was say, oh, we validated the debt. And I was like, okay, but it's
You
still a
sent
medical debt.
right. You sent the validation letter to Experian?
Yeah, because it didn't show up as a medical debt once I reprinted because I was doing the every other week reprinting my credit report.
Yeah.
So once it showed up again, it didn't show up as medical. So I was like, oh, I'm going to just go through the regular process and send 1 through 3. So I sent it, and then they was like, oh, we validated. And then once the attorney's office sent me the validation and I saw it was the same name as the medical, I said, oh, y'all the same people. So you just mad.
Yeah, and they're
I'm like,
trying to
man,
be
what I'm
cute
supposed to do?
because it's still a medical collection if it's still medical bills. So you still can use HIPAA. And because yeah, they got you. But look, you should have settled that account after it got removed. And then you wouldn't have had to worry about it. But whatever, it is what it is. I still would send a HIPAA letter because it's still the same bill. It's still your health information that has to be protected.
I know, I'm in healthcare. So I'm like, y'all really trying to play with me. I work
Yeah.
in healthcare.
They knew what they were doing. They
So
said, we don't want that. We don't want that HIPAA smoke. So
I
let's just
know.
the
So it
collection.
was removed and it's still there. And it's like, and that account is over $700. So I'm like, that's not one of the ones that would be removed. And I don't even remember what it was, to be honest with you.
You're gonna have to start from scratch. You're gonna have to send a HIPAA again because regardless of if they're labeling it as medical, if it's still a medical collection, it still is. And if they deny it and you can prove it's not, that's also a HIPAA violation for lying about it. So yeah, I would start over with just the HIPAA system.
Okay. And then the other question is, so I've been battling with this repossession for like, how long I've been following you? I think 3 years. And it's reporting charged off every month since it got repossessed back in 2015, 2016.
So it's still actively reporting that?
Every month.
Dang.
Every single month since 2017, actually.
So
2017.
what are the credit bureaus saying?
They're just saying that it's validated. I haven't heard anything because it was a small like financing company. I don't even know where the place is at. They've never sent me anything. So I've sent that as a factual that I never received anything. They never invited me to the auction. I even sent the after attending credit boot camp.
What
I
state are
sent Texas.
Oh, you did just say that. Hold on. You can keep going. I'm trying to see something.
They never invited me to the auction. I never received anything after them repossessing it. And it was voluntary. So, I mean, I know it's still the same thing. But I never received anything after that. I even sent them the smart credit printout where it shows that it's reporting CO every month. I even sent them, because I was paying for Experian at one point, I even sent them their record, how it's showing CO every month. Because they're the only ones that still reporting. TransUnion eventually finally deleted it, I think last year.
So did they
Experian's the only one that still have it.
Oh,
I don't even know.
You don't know.
But Experian's I don't know. I hadn't heard anything else about the car. Nope. They haven't tried to sue me or anything.
How much
it's
is
just reporting seal. I think it's like it's about $8,000.
They haven't tried to sue you? That's interesting.
And they haven't said anything. I haven't heard from them. I can't even find a phone number for this place to even try to sell it because we're trying to buy a house next year. and that's the only account that's a high account that's still negative on my credit. So I was like, I know I'm gonna have to take care of it, but I can't get in contact with them, and Experian is pretty much
useless.
not trying to help.
You might need to file a complaint, because I'm looking at the Texas repossession laws, right? And I wanted to make sure, because I'm new to Texas, so I wasn't very thorough on their laws. But I mean, it's the same as where I'm coming from, where they do have to give you a chance to recuperate the vehicle, which is basically giving you a chance to either buy the vehicle outright after it was repossessed, or of course, invite you to the auction. Say that they didn't invite you to the auction, and you've challenged them on that, etc. You may now have progressed to the point where you need to file a CFPB complaint against the company directly, not the credit bureaus, but the company, to say that they did not do the correct due process after the vehicle was repossessed. Regardless if you voluntarily voluntarily turned in the vehicle or involuntarily, it doesn't matter, because it all still falls under the same thing, just repossession. And Texas does require them to, number one, try to either sell off the vehicle or recuperate some of the funds that you owe, so that they can take it away from the balance. So has the balance ever changed? Because I'm confused too. So have you always only owed $8,000? Or you don't remember?
I don't remember, but it hasn't changed like on my credit report, because I have been looking to see, because it's been so long, to see if it's changed by any dollar or any cent or anything, to see if I have anything else to dispute to try to get it removed, and it hasn't moved.
Yeah, you may need to file a complaint. So especially if the company is ignoring you, if they ignore the CFPB, then that is a benefit for you. You know what I mean? So especially if it's a smaller company, a lot of times they do ignore them and they don't respond, which can be a benefit to you, because if they don't respond to the CFPB, then they'll automatically side with you. So now that you've already done what you had to do, and you can show and prove that you tried to reach out and ask for more information, that you've challenged it with the credit bureaus, now you're able to file a complaint, a complaint against the company directly. That's what my next step would be.
Okay, so do I just need to provide
You breaking up.
the letters I've sent the credit bureaus, and then the response that I've gotten from them? Oh, do I need to just provide them the letters I sent the credit bureau, and like what my response has been? Because even the credit bureau hasn't even sent, like, I normally get something from them, like from the company, saying, I see you tried to dispute, and here's something showing that you tried to dispute. I haven't even gotten that.
Do you have a copy of your letters that you sent?
Mm-hmm.
That's enough. You can show your letters. You can even mention they haven't replied or whatever, as long as you can show that you sent it.
That's really
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the only option, because the company is not responding to you. So now you have to see if you're able to go above their head and force a response out of them. I know it's annoying. It's annoying. The good thing is, though, even with you trying to buy a home, well, your lender may require you to settle it. So it all depends. It truthfully all depends. Yeah, somebody called me. Can y'all still hear me on Instagram? Can you guys still hear me? My bad. But yeah, that's the only option at this point, because they're not responding. So now you have to see if you can force a response out of them. But if they don't respond to the CFPB, that's a good thing. So you low-key want to hope that they don't respond.
That's what I'm hoping. Because it's around this time next year where we supposed to be getting into a house. So I have a year, but I don't want to wait till the last minute. I'm not a last minute.
Don't wait till the last minute, definitely.
And that's the last thing that's something I know that if they needed the money right now, I wouldn't feel comfortable giving all that money at one time.
Right. So yeah, that's even more of a reason why you should definitely get started now and file that official complaint. Because you honestly, it may be easy. It may be one of them things where they literally just don't respond, and then it's way easier than you thought it was going to be. Like, truthfully, maybe they won't respond. That it's very common with smaller companies. They just don't care about stuff like that for whatever reason. So if they don't respond, hey, that's good. That's good for you. That's really good for you. And if they do respond, then you're able to, now you finally have their attention, and you're able to argue your side of, you didn't do this. And if they can't prove that they've done it, then it's also going to be to your benefit as well, because they can't just say, yeah, we did this. No, they have to prove it. No, we sent this letter. Here's a copy of the letter that we sent. Here's the address that we sent it to, etc. So file the complaint.
I'll get to work on that then. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. And you
I've
have
been waiting months for that. Thank you.
you get back to work, girl.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna take two more, and then I gotta go because these kids is ready to go to the jump house. Hi, Lily.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Mm-hmm.
I was just talking to you and my phone died.
Wait, I was just gonna say, wait, what I just? I thought I was
talking to you and my phone died in the middle.
Can I get this last person that I'm gonna come back to you only because they've been waiting? Okay.
That's fine.
Thank you. Hey, Jennifer. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. How you doing?
Okay, I'm good. I'm so happy to be on with you. I have to first say that you're the GOAT. You are the GOAT. I'm so serious. When I hear people talk about their issues, I'm like, let me put you on to somebody that could, give you the info. But so listen, gosh, I wrote down my notes. First, before I learned of you, I started my own credit dispute stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And I went to the normal, this is not mine, this is not mine, this is not mine, that whole thing. Now, I did get about 4 collections that was removed, and it's been over 45 days now. So I don't know should I start over with round 1 or should I go into factual dispute, because I did go ahead and do the smart credit thing. And there is stuff on there that doesn't align. So I didn't know.
I'm with you. Let me make sure I'm caught up. So what have you done so far?
I did credit dispute May 6th.
Mail or?
Mail. I did mail, and I did all 3. And all the letters, if the accounts were on there, all the letters were the same. It was either this is not my account, or pretty much a lot of them was this is not my account. And I did get 4 collections removed off of the credit, but I didn't know about around 2 and stuff like that. So I'm just getting on board. So I didn't know if now I should start over, because I didn't ask for an investigation. I just straight out disputed stuff.
Yeah.
So now
that's not my preferred method, of disputing. So what I would suggest is that you are not going to want to follow up on this is not my account ever.
Okay.
You want to start over, especially for the ones that wasn't deleted. Just request the investigation.
Okay.
Simple investigation, so that now you are able to have a brand new, fresh investigation, and you are able to question them on things. Because if you say this is not my account, you also don't reserve the right to question them about specifics of the account. If it's not yours, you know what I mean? It's okay. So you have to start over.
Okay.
Request an investigation.
Okay. I can do that. That's not a problem. And the second thing, when we're talking about like credit cards and stuff, is it just as beneficial to be an authorized user on somebody's credit card that has excellent credit? Does that really benefit? That doesn't benefit me like that.
No, let me make sure I'm spelling it out right. Primary trade lines, which are trade lines that you are approved for in your name, they are always going to outweigh a authorized user trade line, because an authorized user trade line is someone else's credit history, whereas primary trade line is yours. It's based on your credit history, right? Okay. So you can have 1 million authorized AU accounts on your credit report, and your score can even be amazing, but lenders are still going to place those below primary trade lines. They're still going to want to know how you handle your own credit without anyone's help. So you always want to have primary trade lines. If you do have an authorized user, I always say that you should at least have double the amount of personal primary trade lines than AU. Double.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Because right now, I'm not I can't get a credit card, can't. So I didn't know if I should piggyback off of someone else who has good credit, so my credit score can maybe jump, and then apply for my own credit card, or just go ahead and work out my own stuff.
Are you comfortable with answering a few questions about your?
Sure.
What is wrong other than what we just referred? How many collections do you have?
How many fingers you got, Shonda?
You have 30, and all I'm gonna do is try to figure out.
No, seriously. I think now I have about 7 that's still on the credit, and some of them are medical that's going to fall off anyway. Okay. But and then I have a repossession. See, this is the other thing. I have a repossession that was with a company, and that was one of the ones that was deleted when I went through my dispute process on 2 of the credit bureaus.
Okay. So you have about 7 collections of repossession. What about late payments? How many late payments do you have?
1. I think 1 in the past 6 months.
One total, or just 1 in 6 months?
Oh, total, you talking 24, in the past 2 years.
Yeah, let's just say in the past 2 years.
How many fingers you got? It's quite a few. I would at least say, because I had a card that charged off the beginning of last year. So that alone is 4.
So do you have any active revolving trade lines at all? Any credit cards that? Okay. So you are understanding that you're going to have to start with a subprime card. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
To build your credit, to reestablish your credibility, I had to start with like most people do.
Yeah.
What I would recommend is that even if you do get an AU account, you still, like I said, need primary. So I still will recommend that you either get a Pedal 2 card, because they don't care really about your credit score. And Sky is also a subprime lender. First Progress is also another option. You're going to have to go subprime because right now your credit profile, you're not going to get approved for a traditional card. So now you just have to reestablish your credibility.
Okay.
Get a subprime card. Obviously, do right by, pay it, while you are actively challenging those collections and things of that nature. But you need a credit card like ASAP, because your credit score is not really going to move until you have like accounts, positive reporting accounts. So you really need 2 credit cards. So if you can afford to get like 2 secure cards, that would be better. But if not, at least having one is definitely going to benefit your credit profile for sure.
Okay, cool. I can do that. Thank you so much. So I'm going to start over from round 1 with these things that's on a credit, and hopefully we'll touch bases again soon.
One close family or friend who does have a great history on a credit card, I'm not opposed to them adding you on there to help you, but understand it's only going to help you but so much. So make sure you're still building your own credit, with your credit lines. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. You have an amazing day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to get you, Lily, and then I'm going to get off of here. How you doing again?
Okay. I was saying before my phone had died on you that I did what you told me to do, and I printed out my stuff from the annual credit report from all 3 credit bureaus. Okay. Does it make a difference if they have 3 different names for me, or my name spelled 3 different ways?
Oh, different variations of your name?
Yes.
So, I always recommend that you clean that up. It's not a good look to have multiple different variations of your name. It's best to always just have one name, at the most 2, first and last, and then sometimes first, middle, and last. That's always best. If they have different spellings and variations, that absolutely can affect you later on down the line with something as simple as approvals. So clean all of your personal information up. If you have multiple addresses, clean that up. You want to reduce it down to 1 or 2 at the most in every category. Names, addresses, phone numbers, obviously social security number, whatever. Yes, you do want to reduce that if you can, as much as possible.
And I can do that with that template that you have on your Instagram.
Yeah, I'm sure I have one on there. I could just pull it up because I'm not sure which one I have on there, to be honest. Let me just give you an example really quick while I have it up. All right, let me share my screen. Can you see that?
Yes.
All right, let me see. So personal information letter, where it's just you're requesting them to update your personal information. You do have to send a copy of your ID with this letter. If your ID includes an address that is not the address that's on your credit report, you also have to include a copy of proof of residency. So like a bill, a bank statement, or something that shows that your address is accurate if it's not already on your credit report.
Okay.
Send a copy of your ID. I don't know if I said that already, but send a copy of your ID as well.
Okay. And then the last time I talked to you, you told me to go to identitytheft.gov for a bill that wasn't mine that I got. That was basically done under my name.
Yeah.
And I printed it.
It's not yours, right?
I'm sorry?
It's not your account, right?
No.
Okay, I wanted to be sure because I'm like, nah. Okay. But yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, it's not my account. It's someone I know, but it's not mine.
Okay, that's all that matters. It ain't, as long as it don't matter. If it ain't yours.
I printed the 3 of them out, so I just mailed them, all 3 of them, to each credit bureau.
Okay, good. Okay. And how long has that been?
That's why I have them now. So that's why
okay. So you haven't done it yet. Okay, perfect. Now, in addition to sending that, make sure you also send a letter to explaining why you're sending that. Hey, the following account is not mine. I have attached a copy of a police report. And I am requesting you to remove this account. After you send that, you want to follow up within 2 weeks calling. This is the only time I recommend you call the credit bureaus. You call them and you specifically ask to speak to the fraud department, because you want to make sure that they coded your letter as a fraud account rather than you just saying that, you just deny ownership of the account, because it's a big difference. Specifically ask for the fraud department, make sure that they have that letter, and make sure that they know that this account was not opened by you.
Okay, and then so I am supposed to attach the police report to all three of these.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's
make a copy. If you don't have to, just make a copy of it.
Okay, and then
keep a copy for yourself as well, just for your reference. Yeah.
And then I guess my last question for you is, you told me to dispute 2 things, so I'm gonna do that to settle on one. I think that's it. I don't really think I have any more questions.
Well, I'm happy
starting and doing it.
Yeah, just like I said, send that letter with it. Make sure that it's coded correctly to the fraud department, and that's it. You just make sure you follow up. It's basically what I'm trying to say, because I just don't want them to basically just think that you're miscellaneously filing that report, because a lot of people do. So you want to be very active and specifically say, "Can I speak to the fraud department?" Okay. It just makes a difference in the dispute process, I've noticed.
Okay, and then just wait the 2 months that you were saying earlier. Wait the 2 months for the city card.
So, yeah. I was like, wait.
That's my only thing.
You should be good. You should be good.
Thank you.
You're welcome, and you have an amazing day.
You too.
All righty. So what time is it? It's 3:55. Y'all gotta take these kids to the dang on jump house. They get on my nerve. Let me see. Yes, I hope y'all was able to learn something. I couldn't really do as long as I normally do. I'm definitely gonna get back consistent, though. I swear I'm gonna get back consistent, because it's been eating me up too. I don't like not being consistent. It's because I've been working on stuff behind the scenes, but I'm over it. I'm so over it. So yeah, I'm gonna get back. I think you need StreamYard. I have StreamYard. I'm on StreamYard right now, actually. We will always learn. I'm glad y'all learned something, man. Because yeah, this one was real short or whatever. Next time I'll probably have like a more so a lesson, a guideline, something, And yeah, make sure if you're not following me, you're following me on all of my platforms: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. I'm on all platforms. Twitter, I'm on all platforms. I'm always teaching and tweeting, posting about credit. You guys know I live, eat, sleep, and breathe credit. So yeah, I'm always posting about it. So make sure you are following me. I post free information daily on at least one of my platforms. So make sure you're following me across platforms. And yeah, I'm gonna come back live. I don't want to tell y'all a specific time or day. I don't know, but hopefully it's gonna be today. It all depends. It really do. Maybe these kids will get tired at the jump house, and then I can come back live tonight. But yeah, I love you guys, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. I'm sending nothing but positive vibes y'all way. Like, I hope y'all have an amazing day for real. And I will talk to y'all later.